Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. Just want to make sure that I am audible, and then I will hide this. Uh, Perfect. Okay. All right. Put this over here. Yo, what up, AN75? It's been a while. What up, what up, what up? Awesome. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Shashank. I'm a data analyst working at Nordstrom, a major North American fashion retailer. I do this live stream once every Friday. Occasionally I'll miss it, but once every Friday. And I do a similar live stream on Thursday mornings US time. And the Thursday morning live stream is mostly, oh, nice, a C3 Corvette. So I'm in the middle of Denver right now, so you can see some like really cool cars just passing by in the city, and there's a C3 Corvette downstairs. Um, but yes, I do this live stream on Thursday mornings as well, and that is typically for the Eastern audiences. Eastern meaning European, African, and Asian audiences. But obviously, everyone's free to join in. So welcome, welcome, welcome for thanks for joining everyone. Okay, looks like we have a couple of people right here. Um, Weeb Course, great to see you again. Weeb Course is always here, always ready to uh, provide some commentary on the live stream. Love it, love it, love it. Um, okay, so I will get to these in a second just to see what our numbers are. You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me get my cell phone. That would be my cell phone's a useful for me like watch it separately. Uh, where did I put you? There it is. There we go. Okay, found my cell phone. So I have the Apple Watch, which has a very useful feature that allows you to ping your cell phone whenever you um, lose it. Hey, Stephen Testa, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been going well. It's been going well. Life is going well. Summer's going well. It's unfortunate that the Delta strain is uh, going to the moon, as the crypto people would like to say in the U.S. But yeah, no, I'm lucky to be staying safe. I'm in Colorado right now. Colorado is a relatively safe place within the U.S. My family's in Texas, though, which is it's a little bit unfortunate how unsafe Texas can be. But let's get right to it. Let me so I know I said coffee, but I figure it's a Friday afternoon. Instead of coffee, let's go have some margaritas as part of a data science happy hour. So let's get started. Let's get started. Um, just a couple of housekeeping notes. You'll see on the right-hand side of the screen over here. I have a couple of accounts that I'm trying to build up as well. My TikTok account and my Instagram account. If you're interested in interacting with me in different ways, those are great ways to do so. I have free courses for Python, SQL, and Tableau that I believe would be useful for everyone to take a look at. And as I get some common questions, I'll go ahead and put them over here. The most obvious one people ask me is like, what do I think about the Google Analytics certificate? And the basic answer is that I think it's a good certificate. They should just teach R instead of Python. But I mean, you can learn Python separately. So, but otherwise, I think it's a great thing. Hey Sanjay, hey Raghu Chandrasekharan. That's pretty funny. My cousin's last name is Chandrasekharan too. Sanjay, awesome! Congratulations for getting offered a data scientist position in Dallas. So, for anyone that's wondering, I started this channel as at the beginning of COVID. Beginning of COVID in the U.S. So that was last March. Because a lot of people were losing their jobs, and I wanted to see if I could spread some knowledge to help people build up the skills they needed to get jobs. And so, at the end of the day, the end goal of this channel is to help people get jobs, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Like now, the results of all that stuff are finally showing, and I can see people getting jobs. Uh, all right, so let me just pull up this live stream on my phone so I can just keep a decent look at the numbers as we're going, see how good we're doing. So let's see, let me go to my channel. There we go. Okay, cool, cool. 26, not bad, not bad. We've done better, but we can keep going. Okay, so let me go ahead and start answering y'all's questions. So I sure hope no one finds this YouTube channel. Am I on the right track, and is there a faster way to get there? So I sure hope no one finds this YouTube channel. I think a couple of your messages got cut off because I can't see everything else. Interview is Python SQL based. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense for a data science interview. Okay, Jason O. Hi, I am not a CS grad, business student, sixth semester. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let's see. I learned Java for 3 months. I saw your video about daily life and a data analyst. I would like to start my job next year as a data analyst. Cool, cool. Is Python the gold standard used by your peers in data analysis? Or your peers sort of don't care what tools you use to analyze the data? Okay. So between Python and R, I think people generally don't care. The only problem with, so for example, say you use like a language like Java or something, right? Is that a lot of a lot of analyst teams won't have Java talent on them, and that's probably the only problem with using a language that's not Python or R. It may technically get the job done, but if other people on the team can't read your code, that can be a little bit problematic. So I would say I hate to say like, oh, this is the tool to use, but I would say that Python gives you the greatest flexibility. That's probably the best way to put it. That being said, if the team you're going to work on knows Java, then learn Java. So yes, I would say Python is a gold standard. And like I mentioned earlier, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see a link to my free Python course on YouTube. It teaches you everything you need to know to get started as a data analyst. All right, so let's try this mango margarita. Wow, that hits hard. It's good though. Okay, next question. Maxime Augustine. Just found your channel while going down a rabbit hole of starting a career. I'm working a dead-end job right now that pays well for the time being. Okay, so first of all great to know that you're at least getting paid good enough. But I'm hoping to build a good big portfolio. Awesome, awesome, and start my new data analysis career next year. Awesome, awesome. Videos are amazing and super helpful. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the thanks. And Maxime, best of luck to you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. And when you do get that new job, be sure to come to one of these live streams again and let us know. I love hearing success stories. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll get to this question. This one looks really fun. So just to show you guys the format that this usually works in, I go answer the questions from top to bottom, but occasionally if I see a particularly interesting question, then I'll answer that first. And if anyone sends me a super chat, your question gets answered immediately regardless, just as a heads up. And it's a great way to support what I'm doing as well. Oh, I'll probably put that over there. Super chat questions answered immediately. So for anyone that's seen my live streams, you'll know that they're never this organized, but I figure, why not improve? Okay, cool. So let's see what we got over here. Okay, so Caesar Smith, great to see you. Any advice for a current data analyst who wants to break into data science, resources, tips, etc.? Okay, so actually that's the position I'm in right now. So I will say that I am so I'm a data analyst. I'm trying to break into data science, and I think you need to learn like machine learning and statistics. And I have oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna look at that later. On my channel, I have a series where I'm going through the book Hands-on Machine Learning with Scikit-learn, Keras, and TensorFlow, and I'm on chapter 8 right now. By chapter 9, we will have finished the entire first half of the book, which I think is enough for you to get a data scientist job. As far as like, I work with some data scientists, and like at the surface level, that's it's a lot of the skills that they have. Obviously, a lot of them have like masters and PhDs and everything. So I think what I would say is like, if you can get a master's level degree or higher, definitely do that. Otherwise, follow along on my hands-on machine learning book series, and we'll become data scientists together. All right, let's see. Hey, Zizo Gaming. Oh, cool. I think that's our first verified person to ever be on the stream. So nice to see you. What do you think about the hands-on machine learning book? So as you can tell, I'm doing a video for every chapter in the book except for chapter 1 because there's no content in chapter 1. So yeah, that's what I think about it. I think it's a great book. I think it's like the Bible of what do you call it? Of data science, and that it's where you like have the biggest amount of information. So that's what I think. All right, let's get to the next question. Can you explain storytelling? So, Rogel, let's see, did you expand on that? So, Rogel, would you be able to expand on that question a little bit? It's a little bit of a broad question. All right, yes, congratulations. From the Netherlands, I'll be starting as a junior e-commerce data analyst from September 15th. Any tips or tricks? Okay, first day on the job, start first of all, trying to understand the organizational chart of your organization. Like, okay, what are, where is everyone? What are they doing? How are they, like, who's related to who based on what? Try and understand people's jobs. Set up as many meetings with different people as you can. And one question you should ask every single one of them is, what is the biggest pain point of your job today? Or something to that effect, right? You should word the question appropriately depending on who you're talking to. You would ask the question a little bit differently to a director, for example. Like, what are your biggest initiatives, or like what is an initiative you really want to take over? Because directors and up, again, depends on the company, get to like actually figure initiatives. So I would say go ahead and ask that question, and that's a great piece of advice, I think, for someone who's just starting off their career. So I hope I answered your question. Margarita. All right, next question. As you guys can tell, I have a little bit of the sniffle still. So, well, thank you so much, Stephen, for liking the Tableau course. And like I mentioned, I have my free courses on Python, SQL, and Tableau right over here. Is it weird to expect a data science job right after an undergrad? I would say so, yes. It is not easy to get a data science job right after an undergrad. Not at all telling you to give up on the dream or not apply, but what I would call like, I hate doing the gatekeeping, but like, the thing is like, I would say if, for example, someone's not like programming at all, like a data scientist should be able to program in some language. Like again, like I hate this gatekeeping thing, but there do have to be some set of standards. Um, and I think you will be hard pressed to find a company that will take someone straight out of undergrad as a data scientist, unless it's kind of like there are some people who will give a data scientist title to people who are not like the work they're doing is not data science work. Not saying it's impossible, not saying you can't do it, but it is definitely difficult to get one of those jobs. So I hope I answered your question. All right, Ziza, let's see. Do you think that it's better to use that book to learn or get some online course or Udemy or something? That's a tough one. So the reason I want to study the book is because I want to get a really strong foundational understanding of how machine learning and neural networks work. And that's where I think it is. Yeah, and that's where I think like textbooks are particularly helpful in ways that Udemy courses are not. And the only reason I say that is I've taken a couple of Udemy courses, right? And they're usually awesome, but a lot of them are kind of like in a rush to get you like up and learning as fast or up and doing as fast as possible versus actually teaching you like the super fundamentals. And that's what this textbook is really good at. So I would say again, like we all have time, right? There's no harm in doing the book and like learning the book. So yeah. Okay, so we have an interesting question over here. So the risky Sharma, like, so yes, a fresher, and for anyone unaware, a fresher is like the Indian word for someone who's just like what do they call it? Entry level? Entry level. We call it entry level in the U.S. Um, you don't have to be a data analyst first. And for example, like Sanjay over here is like, he finessed his way right into the data science position. Congrats, 100%. Um, and so that's where I think it is 100% possible. I will say I have personally not, as you guys can see, I'm a data analyst. I've been trying to become a data scientist. I have not had the greatest luck with it, but I also don't have like a comp sci degree. I have a chemistry degree, and I don't have a portfolio that really speaks to my machine learning and statistics experience. And that's why I'm building out. That's why I'm doing these videos. I'm trying to build out that portfolio in my own special way. Um, so 100% possible. I have not had the best luck with it though. But Sanjay over here, he got it. So there you go. And Sanjay here is just dropping the real knowledge. No, you're 100% right. LinkedIn and Indeed are like the best websites, at least in the US. 100%. Um, and yeah, so I would add a little caveat to this. For example, like if you're a fresh out of college person, don't apply to a job that asks for 10 years of experience. You can probably go up to 5+ years of experience as someone who's right out of college and still get the job. My brother got a job by asking for a lower rate, where they wanted someone who had 5+ years of experience. So a little bit of a question over there. I will get to this in a second. Yeah, if you want to really learn this stuff, then I'd say go for the textbook. The Udemy courses, at least in my experience, most of them aren't like, they're not like college level courses where they're teaching you everything. Like the textbooks are supposed to be thorough, and that's why I think the book is good. It's very, very thorough. And actually, even if you watch my videos, you'll notice I skip over a lot of the math, because I want to come back to the math and do it like when I read the book a second time. Um, but that's why I think that you should do the textbook. All right, so let me go back to answering these questions in order. As a graduate, what job titles would you be looking at? A upper level data analyst or a data scientist title. Those are what I would be looking at. Nathan Enriquez. Okay, Amon Shavare. What is the biggest flex as a data analyst? Ooh, there. So I saw this funny TikTok, or it's funny like Instagram post or something where it's like, oh, if you want to like flex on non-technical people, just start using the terminal. Otherwise, I would say for me, it is for me personally, it's what I can do with web scraping, because it's like my non-technical friends. It's a very obvious way I can add value to their lives, um, because at some point in time, almost all of them have like been like, oh, I want to get this data off this website. So I would say like knowing how to program and being able to make a web scraper are probably the biggest flexes out there. But if you're talking about coworkers, very wide monitor. I have an ultra wide monitor. It cost me $400 because it was on a deal at Costco, and it is 100% worth the money. An ultra wide monitor and a good mouse are worth the money. Like, and especially like this career is a well paying career, so it's like, and you're going to be spending so much time in front of your computer. I would say if you have the money to do it, 100% do it. All right. Zizo Gaming from Serbia. Hey, well, welcome, welcome. Great to see. I loved. So anyone that, if you're comfortable, let me know where you're from. It's always great to see where people are coming in from. We have like people from all over the place. A lot of people from Latin America, Serbia too. What time is it in Serbia? Time in Serbia. 1:20 a.m. Zizo. So man, thank you so much for showing up. Okay, so let's get back to the questions. Any good resources for learning basic stats for data analytics? I think Kaggle has a course on that, if I'm not mistaken. Kaggle.com. And then if I go to courses over here, hey, Miguel from the Philippines. Is there a statistics course here? I don't think so. I think Kaggle only does very technical stuff, like not mathematical stuff. I actually don't know. Does anyone have any suggestions for Caesar Smith as to like good stats courses for analytics? Because actually, I mean, even I don't know any courses. I kind of just like look up stuff as I need it. Ashmeet Singh, hello. I'm a third year undergraduate in India. Awesome, awesome. Have good command over MySQL, Python, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Excel. Should I be applying for internship for analyst roles? 100%. I don't know how the Indian market works, but in the American market, experience is literally everything. No one cares about your degree after your first job, and the more experience you have, the more hireable you are, and it makes a lot of sense. So I would say everyone, the best advice I can give you is build up some basic skills and then start applying immediately. Like I can understand you may not want to apply if you don't even have like the most basic skills, but build up some basic skills and start applying immediately. Best advice I can give anyone. Awesome, awesome. Great to see some people from India. All right, give me a second. Let me. It's happy hour time in the U.S. now. Okay. Okay, so Mahir, great to see you again. So the strategy to apply as an intern in the US, apply to as many companies as possible, reach out to the hiring managers if you can, use LinkedIn, use Indeed, and have a small but good portfolio ready to go. And format your resume. If you have the opportunity to talk to a business school student, talk to the business school student and ask them how they formatted their resume. Business school students, the one thing that they do learn very, very well is how to format resumes. So make sure you format your resume in a way like that. Data. Okay, so has anyone tried Data Quest program for data scientist? Let's see. Data Quest. I haven't heard of it. Interesting. You know what? So I don't want to like say. So I think that there's 100% a reason you might want to get one of these courses. That being said, I don't know. I mean, I make tons of free YouTube videos. I imagine that every skill you need is available online on YouTube for free. Not saying you shouldn't pay for something. Sometimes paying for it is like what makes you like commit to actually doing it. But I mean, I don't know. I would never. If you are able to, I would say YouTube is probably your greatest resource. Of course, Paulas. And for anyone that just got in, a couple of things. I have a TikTok and Instagram, but more importantly, I have free courses on my YouTube channel. My Python course is over here, my SQL course is over here, and my Tableau course is over here. If you want to learn how to become a data analyst, these three skills over here are really important, and are skills that I highly recommend having. Excuse me. And these three courses assume you know nothing about any of these things and make it really easy to pick up. Okay. So Cedric Dortch, sorry. I'm a CS major in my second year of college. I am seeking a career as a data analyst. I learned Python over the summer. Congratulations. And I just began learning SQL machine learning. Any tips on getting an internship? At that point, just apply. Again, go to a business school major if you can and copy their resume. The format that they use in business school is absolutely amazing, and I think that they're like that's a format that'll get you jobs. Reach out to hiring managers, and I think that's kind of your step-by-step process to get a job. Data Quest is good for beginners. Okay. Dr. Bacon up here. What up, Dr. Bacon? Great to see you. Up here asking for some coffee brands. Everyone give him some coffee brands. What was that book you recommended regarding data visualization? It is called Storytelling with Data. Um, and thank you so much, Paula. I don't know if it's the same Paula that I don't know if it's the same from Paula's picks over here, but someone named Paula just subscribed to my Patreon, and thank you so much for joining. Okay, so what was I gonna do? I was gonna look up something. I think I forgot. Okay. Okay, how do you did I think I answered all the questions up until here. Okay, so how do you negotiate a pricing analytics internship? Okay, so okay, that's very specific. So that's a funny question. Are you allowed to negotiate an internship salary? Most internships I know you can negotiate the salary. So are you even able to? Have you checked if like I would say this. For me, my salary negotiations are always they come to me with something. I ask for Okay, so let's say someone offers me $100,000, right? I'll usually ask for about 125. So I ask for like 25% more. Um, and that is like, obviously, I think as you start to make more money, like if you're making $200,000, you ask for 250, that might be a little bit too much for some people. Um, but I find that asking for 25% more is like you're really stretching what like people will tolerate, but no one is going to be like, no, get out of my face. People will be like, no, we can't do that. How's whatever the original rate was? Or they'll like respect it and they'll give you something like maybe like 10% higher or something. I'm usually able to get about at least a 10% increase in that point. And that's something I want to like let everyone know. Always negotiate your salaries because, for example, again, let's just say you are looking for a job and you get offered $50,000, right? And you ask for 60K, and they come back to you and they give you 53. You got $3,000 and did no work. There was no work involved in that. So always negotiate your salaries. I'm glad you asked that because negotiating salaries is literally the potential of free money, and you do no work to get it. And I'm only saying that because I didn't negotiate my first couple of salaries, and there is at the end of the day, I was offered a good salary, but I'm sure I left some money on the table. So yeah, always negotiate your first salaries. Of course, of course. Same person. Awesome, awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for supporting me, Paulos. That's very thoughtful of you. For anyone that was wondering, Paulos just supported my Patreon, where I have all of the notes for. Oh, whoops. Oh, yeah, that's supposed to be there. I have all the notes for these books, and it's just a great way to support the work that I do. All right, let's keep going. Where was I? Reducing the salary base in exchange for experience is a smart negotiating. Yeah. So actually, so Paulus is referring to what my brother did. So my brother negotiated his way. So he didn't have a degree in software engineering. He just kind of like beasted out and like spent a couple of months. It wasn't even that long learning how to like code Swift and stuff, and like, and then applied to a job where they asked someone for X amount of money. And 5 years of experience, and he's like, I have less experience. I will like you can pay me less, but I'll join for a lower salary than that other guy. And the other thing that he did is he brought his laptop with him and showed them all the projects that he'd done. So he showed them that he was skilled at his job, and he took the he beat the other guy out because he was actually in a waiting room with the other guy, and he was like, that guy has 5 years of experience, I have zero, I will take a lower pay salary and give you the exact same work. You know, um, if you're in such a position, that is not a bad way to get a job. And at the end of the day, he has a job and he's getting paid more than I was paid when I first started. So, and I was not paid like a small salary. I was paid like a decent salary. So, I think that's a pretty baller move. Yes, yes, yes. Always negotiate harder. All right. Can you get into data science with a business degree after having experience as a data analyst on your resume? 100%. At the end of the day, look, at the end of the day, data science is about three things. It's about having mathematical skills, computational skills like Python, SQL, stuff like that, and domain expertise. Your business degree is your domain expertise, and once you're a data analyst, you've built up those mathematical skills and those computational skills. No one cares about your degree after a certain while. I have a chemistry degree, completely useless for the job I have right now, and I have never been asked, and I would bet $100 with anyone right now, um, that my company, all the companies I've worked for, not a single one of them have checked my degree. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean they're going to check that your company won't check your degree. That's just to illustrate the point of how little companies care. Quite honestly, I have a lot to say about college degrees, but you should get one for sure. You should get one for sure. Yes, yes. I'll you know what? I'll actually let him know. I think he might be a good interview opportunity for some people coming in. So I just screenshotted your comment so I can go share it with him later. Okay, what project would you rather see in a project portfolio? So Stephen Tessa's asking this question because I actually interview candidates to join Nordstrom for data as data analysts. So um, cleaning messy data that's originally stored in a CSV format and then warehousing in a relational database. Wait, Stephen Testa, was there? Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Okay. Or store data in relation database and cleaning with Python and SQL. The second one. I would rather see this one over here, because this tells me that you can. This tells me you're a data engineer. This tells me you're a data analyst. Um, so that's why I would do this one. What was that book you recommended regarding data visualization? Oh yes, that was the question I was going to answer. Storytelling with data. I think I have it like linked over here. So does my Amazon affiliate code for it, but huh, it's somewhere. I should probably put it on all my videos, honestly, because I recommend that so much. Where would I have put it? Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. So storytelling with data is a tremendous book about data visualization that I think every data professional needs to read. It is an amazing book, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I actually met the author once at a Tableau conference. It was pretty cool. Oh, okay. And let me. Sea Bear, welcome, Doug Dimmadin. Just checking to see what other questions we have over here. All right. How alike are business analysts and data analysts in terms of the role? It is confusing. So I started off as a business analyst, and like a business analyst can be like, oh man, it's such a flexible role. Oh man, a business analyst can be anything. So like a business analyst, like when I was a business analyst, I was basically doing the work of a data analyst, accessing SQL databases, analyzing data, and building dashboards on it, which is like one uh, aspect of like what a data analyst does. A business analyst, typically the difference is a business analyst will not be writing SQL, or a business analyst like takes business processes and then translates them into a lot of really complicated Visio diagrams and explanations in order for software developers to actually develop code on that. So I would say that the level of technical skills is probably the big difference over there. I hope I answered your question. It's a little bit of a complicated one. Only because job titles can be so flexible, honestly. And an example of that is that you could be a data analyst doing data scientist work, just without the title. Okay, so Francis Okoye, most stats courses are not so straightforward to learn, but you can learn statistics for dummies. Once you get the basics, you can go more advanced. Okay. Statistics for data science and business. You know what? Yeah, let me check this out. Because stats is definitely one of those places that I'm lacking in. Oh, whoops. I didn't actually. Okay, so pal, I'm going to assume it's this course over here. Oh, 365 careers. Okay, yeah, no, those guys are awesome. Cool. Hey, Shashank, could you make some videos on the automation aspect that a data analyst does on a daily basis? Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I'll do that. If you're looking for an opportunity to intern, it's like an opportunity to learn offer for free. First, they give you something that's fine. Then, yep, exactly. All jobs posted are for senior analysts. Do you recommend applying to these, or only to junior ones? So Weeb course like how much experience do you have? I don't think that there's a problem like applying for senior analyst positions. Again, titles are so flexible. It may not matter. Would you suggest doing an MS business analysis analytics degree or going for a less costly alternative one? Ooh, okay, so that's a tough one. So Doug Dimmadan. Okay, so here's the real part of it. At the end of the day, I think you could probably get the exact same knowledge out of a boot camp or learning by yourself, but having that stamp from a university saying this person paid a bunch of money to go get a master's degree is very useful in helping make sure you don't run into any ceilings later in life. So I think if you have an opportunity to get a master's degree, I would recommend it just so you say you have the master's degree and no one will deny you a job over that. So I think that's why you would get the master's degree. So I think if you have the opportunity to get a master's degree, you generally should do it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go check out that course then. How much is it? I didn't actually. $89. Okay. I mean, yeah. You know what? Maybe if I make a new account, it'll be cheaper. I mean, you're right. These things always go on sale. I've never paid full price for a Udemy course. Okay, so Liam Drowley. I'm looking to do my master's in analytics, but I have my bachelor's in sports science, so my math isn't the best. I was wondering if you had any tips in regards to that. I would say take this course that Paula mentioned over here, Statistics for Data Science and Business Analysis. It is I was just saying I needed to boost up my stat skills anyways. So, yeah. I have an offer from SurveyMonkey. Your opinion? So, Akash Sharma, interesting. If you are early in your career and you haven't like decided like, oh, this is what I want to do, I think that SurveyMonkey, again, it's a tech company. If the salary is good and the work culture is good, I'd say go for it. Worst case scenario, after 6 months you hate it and you just go find a new job. Again, with these technical positions, you can change stuff really quickly if you want to. So I'd say go for it. Sea Bear. Um, Okay, how much statistics do you use in your current job? I found that my current job requires a ton, and the title is just data analyst. So I use a fair amount because I'm working on building a machine learning platform at my company, and as part of that platform, we need to like worry about stuff about like how do you deal with like multicollinearity stuff like that. So I like learn it on the fly. So I do a fair amount, but I'm also in like a very unusual position for a data analyst at my company because of my Python skills. They have me doing a lot of like development for a that thing that we're building. So. And weeb course. To answer your question, I just say no. Don't wait. Just apply. Worst case scenario, they say no. Um, is it possible to do data analysis as free work? Yes, it is. I do it all the time. So I currently have my full time job. I do freelancing and I do this YouTube stuff, which is why you might see me actually like not posting very consistently. It's usually because my freelancing is getting in the way. So yes, 100%. Go to Upwork. Put in your skills in a build up skills in Tableau, Power BI, and slash or Python, and those will get you jobs on Upwork. Okay, Pierce Manitowabi is the Google Data Analytics certificate worth getting. So as you can see over here, I have a basic idea over here, or a basic answer to that question over here, where I say it is good, but they should teach Python, and it uses R right now, but it's good. Um, I'd say just do both. I don't see why you can't do both. Like finish the certificate and then go ahead and do this is what I'd say. Zayu Rift. Hi, I got my PhD in math, almost done, and looking for data science stuff. Hey, congratulations. PhDs are hard as hell to get, especially in math. Damn. What would you recommend to learn first? I already know Python, and I'm a fast learner. Greetings from Germany. Well, welcome from Germany. We have a lot of Germans over here. I have a theory. It's because Germans speak good English, so I have a theory that's why they show up on my YouTube. Also, I've been getting into a lot of German YouTubers recently. Like a lot of them do like videos in English. So there's this guy that does he fixes old BMWs. There's this guy that talks about like geopolitics, and there's like another one I watched, but I forgot what his name was. Yes, SQL. So Rift SQL is the next thing you need to learn. If you have the PhD in math, so your stats is either good or you'll pick it up like instantly. I would recommend you pick up Python and SQL. Those are the two things I would recommend. And if you're interested in SQL, Rift, I have a free SQL course on my YouTube channel right over here. So check it out if you're interested. Would you like to see a plot I made with the data you curated in your Tableau course? Yeah, 100%. Put a link in here, Steven. How often do you have to work with non-relational databases? Depends on the job. I have never worked with one. Excuse me. Yeah, I only work with relational databases, honestly. I've never worked with a non-relational database. I will be working with one soon, but I have not worked with one yet. What's your opinion on SaaS? So I have never used SaaS myself, but I have never heard a good thing about it ever. I have a bunch of data scientists on my team, and they all hate SaaS. So that's not me speaking. That's the data scientists on my team speaking. We were just talking about it the other day. We're like, we have a data science club at my company, and I said SaaS for like in reference like software as a service, and they thought I meant SaaS, like the statistical programming, like the statistical program, and they're like, oh man, I hate SaaS. So, not a very educated opinion coming from me. That's just what I heard. So, okay. Of course, of course. Hey, awesome. Hey, Angela, thanks for letting us know. I always love hearing people say they get jobs. That is exactly what this job is. I mean, that's exactly what this YouTube channel is all about. No, yeah, I've never used SaaS myself. I've never heard a good thing about it. Um, if you want more experience in Python, maybe you can push to have it used more. I hate SaaS. Okay, so I'm going to screenshot that. That is gold, and I will use it as ammunition to make sure our company never adopts it. Thank you. But yes, as far as like, so I know for me, when I was working one of my jobs, they offered to give me an Alteryx license. And for anyone that doesn't know, Alteryx is a, thank you, Zayu. Alteryx is GUI-based software that basically like will basically do all the work that like Python does. And the someone asked me if I wanted like a license in it, and I said no, even though I didn't know Python, so that I could force myself to learn Python. So I'm not sure if you could like I'm not sure if you could engineer the same situation, but I would say like don't be afraid to engineer. Like again, within reason, you still have to get your job done, and like we should be thankful that people are willing to pay us for our work, and should give them good work. Um, but don't be afraid to like engineer a situation in which you are able to like learn more, and a good employer will like support your learning because it makes you a better employee. So Angela, I hope that offered some help to answer your question. Give it about 2 weeks. Okay. Scholarships 100%. Western Governors University. Okay, I'll go check it out. I'll go check it out. Yes. Perfect, perfect. And for anyone wondering, I have a free course in Python right over here, and a free course in SQL, and a free course in Tableau, if you're interested in learning that stuff. Also, my TikTok. So if you want to ask me questions more regularly, follow my TikTok. Because TikTok makes it so easy to answer questions instantly. I answer a lot more questions on TikTok regularly. So my TikTok's a great way to follow me. And then my Instagram, I mean, I don't know how to do Instagram. I'm really bad at Instagram. But it's just there if you guys are interested. So, there we go. Uh, okay, perfect. Okay, I'm assuming that's in relation to the advice I gave. So, yeah, yeah. So, and that's advice for everyone. Like, again, within reason, right? You need to be respectful of your, and maybe it's just my like, good experience in corporate America that like is speaking here. But like, you need to be respectful of your employer, and they should be respectful of you as well, 100%. Um, but I would always say like at the end of the day, your learning should be a important concern for you and your employer. Both of you should be concerned about how much you're learning. And so don't be afraid to engineer situations in which you get to learn more. Okay, so let's see. Also, in the US, it's around happy hour. Is anyone else enjoying a drink, or is it just me? Okay, so is it necessary to have a degree? I have a degree in Bachelor's of Civil Engineering, and I took a subject where I learned data analysis, and I quite enjoyed it. It is not necessary to have a degree in analytics. I have a degree in chemistry. Um, so I would say your degree almost doesn't matter, and it definitely doesn't matter after your first job. No one cares after your first job. Unless you have a master's. If you have a master's or PhD, it's a little bit different. But as a bachelor's, no one cares after your first job. And I have a degree in chemistry, and I have literally used like I spent 4 years in college learning all that stuff. I've literally used 0% of what I learned in college from a classroom perspective. So, um, hey Devin, hey, great to see you again, Devin. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, great to see you here too. Drink in Jakarta at 6 a.m. right now, drinking coffee. Hey, great to hear. Great to hear it. Uh, 6 a.m. Saturday though. Okay. Uh, how's your day going? It's going really well, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's see. What would you recommend for a future financial analyst? I have Excel down, but I'm looking to spice up my career. Okay, so Rico, I would recommend you do Python and SQL and Tableau. I have free courses for all of those right over here. Um, And if you want the order, I would say learn Tableau first, then Python, then SQL. That's the order I'd recommend them in. Because Tableau, excuse me, like my first job, I got paid like over 50K just for doing Tableau work. Tableau and some Alteryx work too, but like again, not a hard tool to learn. The point I'm making over here is that like you can like companies will value people who like just make Tableau reports, honestly, or Power BI. Power BI is the same thing. So I recommend Tableau first, then Python, then SQL. Uh, Okay, ride or must I? Hey, first off, thanks for doing this. Of course, you're welcome. You're welcome. I love it. Um, I have a bachelor's in information systems and worked as a DBA. Would I be prepared for a data analyst job, or is So I think a master's is always recommended, not necessarily in data analytics. And here's one thing I have also heard, and again, don't quote me on this because I don't actually have experience with it, but I've talked to a data science team leader once, and he recommended people take a statistics master's instead of a data science master's because the quality of data science masters is so all over the place. Um, don't quote me on that. I don't have actual experience with that. I don't have a master's degree myself, but that's just what this guy I talked to said. Um, I think, okay, so you worked as a DBA, so I'm assuming you know SQL. Learn Python or R, whichever one you want, and Tableau, and you'll be good to go, right or must die. Again, free Python course right over here, and free Tableau course right over here. All right, guys, we have about 10 more minutes. If you want me to answer your questions instantly, super chats, I answer super chat questions instantly. So that's just to let you guys know. But otherwise, keep going in order. Awesome, awesome. What is your opinion of R? Great language. Might end up doing my MPH in biostatistics. Cool, 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 cool. Should I learn Python or go ahead and learn R? I personally like Python. The reason I like Python, right, and the reason, so I had a choice when I first started learning a language because I could pick either if I wanted to learn Python or if I wanted to learn SQL, sorry, or R. And the reason I picked Python is because it's a general purpose programming language. And if I decided I don't like this analytic stuff at all, I would have some basic software development skills that could get me a job somewhere else. And that's the only reason I recommend Python over R. That plus, these days I think Python has better neural network and like deep learning support. But again, if someone feel free to correct me on that. So that's why I personally pick Python over R. But they're both great languages, and on the team we're at my company, we support both languages somewhat equally. I'd say we support Python a little bit more, but somewhat equally. All right. Wine and lemonade combo. Nice, nice. 8 p.m. Okay, so that means you're on the East Coast. Nice. Okay. I'm on Mountain Time right now. Okay, so I've been learning R, working with Python, and have nothing with Tableau. Thanks for the advice. I'll try to get a master's in statistics. Cool, cool, yeah. And again, R is a tremendous language and very respected in the data science community. I'm mostly saying it from like a general practicality perspective of like, oh yeah, you can take Python and become like a software engineer if you really hate data analysis. So that's kind of what I was the angle I was taking it from. Okay, so Egosa, let's see, what was your question? Okay, cool, 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 cool. Thank you so much for the support, Angela. I love the enthusiasm. Yeah, no, I mean, I have fun doing this channel. It's a good time, and you guys might see that I pivoted a little bit harder into where is it? Whoops. Into my hands-on machine learning things. It's because part of the reason I made this channel so that like I can learn and then you know um, solidify my own learning in like what I do. But I'm trying to make sure I keep doing these live streams that way I can like spread any knowledge that I happen to encounter. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so the new age. Hey, Shashank, I was wondering if you can share some tips for finding your first analyst job. I have been applying for 3 months and have not even had an interview yet. So first of all, let me tell you something. Um, I have not had a job yet where I have applied for less than 6 months, and that's not me telling you like you to suck it up. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say over here is that the job application process can be very tedious, and uh, people can be applying for like months and months before they actually get a response. So like even for the current job, I think I applied for like 4 months before I got a response. The current job I'm in right now, and so don't get discouraged. Just keep at it. Eventually, people will get to you. I would say, and I really need to release a resume video. Again, on my TikTok, I actually have a couple of videos about resumes and stuff like that on my TikTok account. If you want to check that out. I would say go ahead and ask someone to look at your resume, someone you know and trust and like who's like more experienced than you. Ask them to look at your resume and see if your resume might be the problem. It's possible that your resume is a problem. It's possible you're just having bad luck. But don't be discouraged. Just keep at it and make sure you're submitting a different resume per company. At one point in time, like, yeah, you have to make sure that like the resumes are specialized per company. So just a heads up. All right. So what's an example from Devin? What's an example of something an applicant said that really impressed you that you when you were conducting an interview? Huh. That's an interesting one. Hmm. A really interesting one was when an applicant I was asking them a SQL question, and I told them, and again, you don't ever tell anyone they're directly wrong in an interview, but I kind of handed on like, oh, this is probably not the way to do it, and then he just kept pushing back, and he's like, no, 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 based on the way this question is worded, this is how I understood it, and like what happened was basically he went back to the original question I asked him. It was a SQL question basically, right? And it was some business question, so it was like pull this data in this way to answer this question, he walked through word by word the question, the way it was worded. And he's like, based on these words and this grammar, this is how I understood the question to be. And what I did over here answers that question. And that really impressed me. The ability to stand his ground and probably more importantly than standing his ground, right? Standing your ground is important, but like more importantly, um, understanding that at the end of the day, analytics is useless if not paired with a good business case. What are we even trying to do here? And if you're working like a nonprofit, what are we even trying to do here? You know, that's a basic idea. And that is what really impressed me. The fact that he had this clear understanding that at its core, we're not here to answer questions. We're here to drive results and actually really change the way people do things. So I'd say that's probably the most impressive thing I've seen. How much do I use Excel? I use it every single day, usually just to store data temporarily. Bookmark all your courses for future reference. Thank you so much. Yes, these free courses are links on my channel. They're all YouTube links. The YouTube link is just too long. That's why. Eric Soriano. Now I'm applying for all jobs with data analysis. I feel prepared thanks to your courses. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Stephen Testa. Did I miss your Stephen? Did I miss your question? I don't. I must have skipped your question. Um. Oh yeah, Stephen. Yes, yes. I would like to see if you have a link. Feel free to throw it in here, unless I missed it again. Do you see my links? Ah, okay. So Stephen, I think that links are automatic. Yeah, your links are not coming through. So you can see what I'm seeing right over here. Um, interesting. Yeah, you may not be able to send links through. Ah, shoot. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Try and add random spaces in the link. That way it doesn't like show up as a link, and maybe that'll help. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I lost where I was. Okay, so yes, Sebastian's question. Okay, so I'm learning about SQL, Python's most important libraries for data. Okay, and some data cleansing tools. Do you think I can land a junior data science ML engineer job? Ooh, okay. ML engineers are a tough one. ML engineers are, yeah, those guys are paid a monster amount of money because like of the work they do is so complicated. I would say at that point, your understanding of how machine learning algorithms work and your mathematical skills, your mathematical and Python skills are probably the most important thing for a ML engineer job. So I would say that's probably what you're looking for. Love your videos. Do you have any Let's Maths debate video? So, Expert Hage, what do you mean by this over here? I'm not familiar with the type of video. Maybe I'll put it inside YouTube and see what comes up. I'm guessing this isn't what you're talking about. Do you think doing Kaggle projects on your resume is worth it? Someone on our stream yesterday, the Thursday stream, got their job because they did Kaggle projects. So 100%, I think it's worth it. Yep. Does a data analyst discuss often with the management or sales team to take business decisions? In my experience, usually no. You usually are asked to analyze something, present your findings, and then business will make their own decision based on it. So typically, no. I've learned pandas in Python. What other libraries should I look into? NumPy, Matplotlib. If you look at my free Python course, there's an entire list of libraries in there you can check out. I had a hard time installing the mini conda environment. Long story short, the PowerShell had some restrictions by default and was giving me a conda not found error. Oh, I'm really sorry about that, man. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate because in Windows, yeah, one of your computers restrict, you're gonna have a hard time installing things. And then two, like people have to use PowerShell in Windows instead of like command line. Whereas in Mac, it's just terminal. Do you need any deep numerical skills in your current job, like solving large, sparse linear systems, eigenvalues? No, not on my current job. Although I'm hoping to get to a point where I actually am doing more advanced stuff like that, but currently I don't. These are all free courses on my channel. Yep, I use Excel every single day. You can download it from Tableau's website. They have a Tableau. Oh, you know, no. Do Tableau Public. And Tableau Public is a free version of Tableau where you have to save everything to their public cloud, but it is free. And if you're at all interested, I have my free Tableau course over here where I teach you how to do exactly that. It's on YouTube. Which is the best blend in both finance and data analytics? Which way would you go? That's a tough question. I actually don't know. You know what? I'm sorry. That's one question I don't think I can answer. Yeah, so Steven Testa, send it over LinkedIn chat and we can take a look at it. I have about 14% of my battery left, so got to send it quick. So why ultra wide instead of dual monitor? I like having the continuous screen. Um, yeah, that's really about it. It really is just that continuous screen. No real practical reason beyond that. And wow, okay, this is the first time we've ever reached the end of the chat. Otherwise, I've never been able to answer every single question. Okay, so okay, it looks like we got some over here. So if I would like to hop to other companies that does Python or R, would it be okay if I told them I currently okay, got Steven's link, perfect. So Angela, I'll get to your question in 1 second. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay, cool. So we'll get to this in a second, Steven. Let's finish up Angela's question right here. If I would like to hop to other companies that does Python or R, would it be okay if I told them hey, Weeb course here with the real gamer moves, double ultra wide. You know what, Angela? You could just tell them you work in Python. At the end of the day, think about it this way: a future employer they never are going to call your current employer and be like, "Does Angela work in Python and stuff like that?" Right? And I hope I'm not sounding like I'm like mocking you. I'm just trying to like be very like straightforward. If I were you, if I were in your position and you actually are learning Python and you can actually show like that you can like do stuff in it, um, then go then oh wow, we have a lot of questions coming in. Then just tell them you use Python currently, right? So Angela, that's 100. My advice, 100%. Just tell them you use Python if you already do, and then make sure you have like some kind of a project. You could even say that like a project you did in SAS, you just do it in Python. Just make sure you're able to actually replicate that in front of them in case they ask it. I say there is no problem at all. If you can replicate the skills in front of an employer, you can say you've done almost anything, in my opinion. At the end of the day, they're hiring you to do a job. And as long as you can do that, as long as everything you say you can do, that's all that matters, in my opinion. Um, so, Angela, 100%. I think, and I love these questions. Angela's asking some really like great specific questions about the actual like specifics of the interview process. And I would say, yeah, just say you use Python currently, but make sure you actually learn it too, because I have had the worst thing. I've interviewed multiple candidates where they're like, I know Python. And then we give them a technical interview and they fall so flat on their faces. It's an instant fail of the interview. Like, they did so well in all the other parts, but because they said they knew it and then we needed it for the job and they can't do it, it was an instant failure of the interview. So, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, these are great questions, so thank you so much for asking them. I hope to see you in some future live streams as well. Oh, this is a good question. Is VBA worth learning, or can Python cover most of that? Python can do basically anything VBA can. Um, Microsoft keeps saying they'll deprecate VBA. That's like my reason for not learning it. But again, like Microsoft never. If humanity could go extinct and Microsoft will still support technology from 20 years ago. I can guarantee you that. Like they are so scared of deprecating anything at Microsoft. It's crazy. So long story short, I think if your job actively uses VBA, no harm in learning it. The good thing is it's relatively simple. Um, but I haven't learned it only because like by the time you start working with enough data, Excel can't even like handle it. Rico, you have a Skyline GTR. What the hell, man? I want one. I like I'm watching this video over here. Like, oh my god, like I want a Skyline, so I want an R34 so bad. Okay, guys, small diversion. Uh, Small diversion. This video over here is beautiful of someone detailing the world's most expensive Skyline GTR, and it's a beautiful car. So I went to Japan 3 years ago, and when I was there, I met a guy that had a midnight purple Skyline GTR, and I was so happy when I saw it, and I was so excited. And when I came back to America, I was like, I'm going to own this car when it's legal here. And now the prices are so high that I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, so yes, Steven Tesla. Let's go ahead and check out your dashboard. Okay, cool. So give me a second. Let me get a sip of my margarita. Wow, I really need margaritas when I do this. I'm so excited now. Okay, let's see what we got. And Francis, you're 100% right. Generating revenue for the company is the most important thing. Okay, so application start date. This is good. This is good. So I'm guessing that this is the average. Okay, so Francis, or not, sorry, not Francis, Steven. One thing I might recommend is rename this axis to talk about what this actually means. So, for example, number of records as the user. I mean, obviously, I know this data set, right? But as the user, I don't. Oh, thank you so much, Angela. But as a user, I don't actually know what number of records means. So, and if anyone, so we're looking at Tesla's first dashboard right now. Feel free to critique it. Be nice about it, but feel free to critique it. Let's offer him some advice. I would say number of records over here. This axis title, you should probably change it so it's a bit more descriptive. Just because looking at it immediately, I'm not exactly sure. This title is good. Application start date. If you can get, you know what? If you could unify. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, I see what you. I see what you. Okay, so you're comparing month by month. Okay, 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 okay. Cool. No, I like it. Another thing that actually might be helpful that a lot of people won't say is like you can add notes in Tableau. Excuse me. You can add notes in Tableau. Um, to where you can explain what these major dips are. So that's not at all a bad idea. To like be like, because the first question a business person is going to ask is like, why do we have these dips over here? Okay, you know what? Like, let me stay on for a little bit longer. Give me a second. Let me go get my laptop charger because we're at 6%. All right, we got our charger. There we go. Okay, so back to your question. Back to your dashboard. So, for anyone that's wondering, I just left to go get a charger for my laptop. We're charging up right now. And now we are just looking at Steven Testa's dashboard to see how we can help him out over here. So I recommended changing the horizontal axis name over there. You know what? No, I think this is fairly solid. I would always say there is no harm in adding a little blurb over here saying, like, what are we trying to measure over here and what are your observations? Um, a linear trend line may not be a bad idea. I see you've done some means over here, but a linear trend line is not a bad idea either. Um, and yeah, no, I think you've built something very solid over here. So anyone else, let me know if you have any other suggestions as to what he could do. But seems solid to me. I love it. All right. So what else do we have? We have a couple more questions coming in. Freaking Rico Robles has a Skyline GTR. I'm so jealous of this guy. Has he said anything yet? He should know I'm jealous of him. Um, okay, Akshay Chaos, what's your advice for candidates shifting careers into data analytics? Learn Python, learn SQL, learn Tableau. I have free courses on my YouTube channel for all three of those things. And this isn't one of those like scam free courses where I try and like upsell you on it. It's literally a free course. That's all it is. Um, yes, so free courses on all those things. Learn those three sets of skills, and then just start applying. And if, for example, like whatever you can with your older jobs, try like changing the tone of all of your experience in your resume to be that of an analyst and be like, oh, I analyzed this data. Oh, I did this. I did that. In reference to analysis. Excuse me. So, Caesar Smith, what would you say is expected of a experienced 2 to 4 year old or years of experience data analyst salary in big tech companies? And oh, okay, interesting. 130K. Yeah, maybe $130,000. That's what I would expect. I think if you're working with time series data, CyclePlot does a good job to express seasonality when you know periods, monthly per year. Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. I think your logic is like very right. Remember, Python or R is just a tool. Yes, Francis, you're 100% right. Python and R are just tools. At the end of the day, the analysis is what's important. Um, and you're 100% right. Yeah, the company cares about how you can generate revenue for them. Exactly, exactly. Can you link links in your chat? If so, share that PDF. Oh, did you? Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you sent me a PDF. Okay, so let me. So I have to get it on my iPhone. Uh, oh, but okay, you gave a link. Okay, so I should be able to share links, but LinkedIn is forcing me to use. I hate LinkedIn's interface. It is so difficult to use. There we go. There's the link. So I should be able to share links with people. It is my live stream after all. Is there an equivalent to Jupyter Notebooks for SQL to put a project on GitHub? I don't know how to show I know some SQL. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. What you could do is you can run SQL inside of a Python notebook using something called like SQL Alchemy. So connect to a SQL database using Python, and then put the SQL inside a string in Python, and use Markdown to say, "Hey, there's SQL over here." I think that's one way you could do it. All right, let's see what else we got. The horizontal lines represent the average for that month across the years of 2013. It's a little, yeah. I didn't know they were called cycle plots, but I'm glad you sent the PDF over. Francis Okoye is 100% right. Um, I I don't like to poo poo in technology. Honestly, I don't like to be like one of those guys. But that being said, it's a fly on my screen. Um, that being said, I would say, yeah, I personally wouldn't learn VBA. But like, if you work with Excel a lot, then why not? Yes. Prasanna Mamidi, where should I start applying for junior data analyst role? When would someone would be ready for this role? If you take all three of these courses and you actually know how to do all of them, then I don't see why you can't apply for a junior data analyst role. So this is my free Python course, my free SQL course, and my free Tableau course. If you apply for all of them, if you like learn all of them, then I don't see why you can't become a junior data analyst. Honestly. Ah, interesting. Okay. So I wanted to ask about this. So Jason, no, this is a great question you entered. So LinkedIn has an upper limit to the number of people you can connect with, and I'm approaching that limit, which is why I closed my LinkedIn to the public. If you follow me, I think follow me is the only thing you can do. Otherwise, if you want to directly message me, I think TikTok and Instagram allow you to directly message me, and that might be the best way to contact me, honestly, because LinkedIn limits how many people you could directly connect with, and I'm not far away from hitting that limit, so I closed off my LinkedIn. Um, so I do apologize, but you can follow me on LinkedIn. I do encounter jobs every once in a while, and I can go ahead and post them there if I want, or if you want, or like if you're interested. Otherwise, yeah, my Instagram and my TikTok are probably the best ways to contact me because unfortunately YouTube for some reason doesn't allow direct messaging. So all right, so it looks like we're running low on questions and the viewership is going down. So I'm going to call it a day today. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. My name is Shashank. If you are at all interested, my TikTok has a lot more information. My Instagram doesn't really have anything on it, honestly. And I have free courses in Python, SQL, and Tableau in case you're interested. Oh, someone has a Lamborghini. So in Python, SQL, and Tableau, if you're interested, on my YouTube channel, completely free. And yeah,